Hi everyone. So I have I'm going to do a couple videos today and it's going to be really fun. We just had our 40th book club meeting. So that means I've kept it alive since basically 2009 because we had some summers that we read just one book or we took the holidays off, things like that. And so a lot of people ask me, like, how do you start up a book club? How do you keep it going? And it is hard for sure, but it's so rewarding. I really recommend it, and I would love to see not just girls doing book clubs, but I would love to see men doing book clubs too, because I think we need to get the men in our lives reading and talking, and I would just love that. I think that would be so great. But if you want to start up a book club, you can kind of go a couple different ways. One, you can pick a theme of the type of book that you want to read, like do all children's books or young adult books, or you can just pick whatever book you want. But I think it is good at the outset to set like certain rules of how you're going to make it work. And one of the ones that I've set up for me is that somebody in the book club has to have read the book before. And the reason why I have that rule is because I was in a book club previous to this one, and it was great, but we were going off this contemporary classics list, and almost every book we hated. And it was just such a waste of time, and it just wasn't as good as if somebody had read it, somebody had said, this is a good book, or I like it at least. And you're still not going to like every book, but we were talking about it today at book club about how we liked, there weren't that many that any of us didn't like that we'd picked. And for me, I also try to keep it pretty squeaky clean because that's the group that I'm with. I've tried to push the limits a couple times and I got a little bit of, they weren't enjoying it as much. And it's supposed to be fun. So if they're not enjoying the books, then you're not succeeding. Like book club is not the place to be like teaching people or making, it's supposed to be fun. So if you have people in your book club that have particular things they don't like and styles they don't like, then don't pick those kind of books because they're not going to want to be in the book club, because we're not required. It's just for, like I said, it's just for fun. And I have tried to keep like a pretty good variety. Like we've done some nonfiction, we've done some fiction. I'll post the list in the comments of the 40 books that we've read. And we've done some classics, some just a lot of different types of books. And I've also tried to keep, in general, the book to around 200 pages. Because I've just found that if it's a long book, even if it's a really good book, people just don't read it. And it's not from lack of trying. Sometimes they try really hard. They just aren't able to read it that fast. If you are going to pick a long book, then have it be over a couple of months. Or if some books that are long but are pretty easy reading. So kind of gauge, like if I'm asking my book club to read Great Expectations, maybe I want to give them a little bit more time because, it's a classic. So, that's something to really think about, because if nobody's read the book, like, it's not as fun. I've still had good book clubs where nobody's read the book. But also, like, the other important thing, I think, is just continuing having a set date and trying to keep it as permanent as possible. So we have ours on the first Saturday of the month, with the exception of April and October, because those are general conference for my church. And so then we have that the second. We'll reassess, whether that date is working, whether we want to do a Friday or a Wednesday or a Tuesday, whatever it might be. You might have a bunch of housewives and they all want to meet during the day, and that would be fine. So, but I think having it be a set, so people can put it in their calendars, they can rely on it, it's going to be that day, is really helpful. And I also try to get feedback, so it's not just me picking the books. I picked a lot of them, probably 90% of them, but I've still tried to get like feedback. A lot of times I've had 2 books and said which one looks the best to you guys. That's something that's worked well for me is like I said, having a set schedule, and like also don't be discouraged if it's just 1 or 2 people. You could invite 25 people to book club and have 2 people come, 1 person come. I've had that happen before. And I am always kind of recruiting for book club. I tell pretty much everyone I know about it, men and women, because I think it's fun, and I think that people will enjoy it, and it's a good way to meet people. And I am kind of the book club ambassador. The other thing, I've had once, even like 2-3 month periods where there was only 1 person or 2 people. It doesn't really matter if you're reading and you talk about it. And I've also had times where I've like gone to the effort to invite a person who couldn't come but had read the book over to dinner, and we'll still talk about it, because then they feel involved and they feel included. So that's something I really recommend, is just just taking ownership. Like, nobody is going to do it if you don't do it. If it's something that you want your life, like taking ownership, making it something that you're always trying to make better and that you have a lot of fun in. I do send out a lot of reminders. You do have to be kind of active, or at least in my experience, or it just will fizzle out and won't last very long. So that's kind of my tips. I have to say, the other thing too is that like books that are sort of classic book club books have been extremely popular. There's something to it that, like, a book like The Help was one of the most popular books that we did in book club. We had a ton of discussion. It was really fun. And so there's, like I said, something to be said for a book that is known for being a book club book. They usually are good book club books. The Secret Life of Bees was really good. The Guernsey Literary Potato Peel Pie Society, that one was really good. Kind of keep an eye out for, everyone's kind of talking about this book, The Book Thief. We've done that twice because I love it so much. But it's something to keep in mind, that like, what are people talking about out there? What seems to work for a lot of other book clubs will probably work for your book club. So that's my suggestions. I'd love to hear what you guys are reading in your book clubs, how you make it work. So just put your comments below, and I'm going to be doing more videos. I do a couple a week, and so if you want to go ahead and subscribe, I would love it. And thanks so much. Bye.